So here's this woman, you remember her, Leanna Wen, who is out saying, Joe and everybody needs to act right now in order to protect us against bird flu.
There are two main things that they should be doing in the days that they have left. The first is to get testing out there. I feel like we should have learned our lesson from COVID that just because we aren't testing, it doesn't mean that the virus isn't there. It just means that we aren't looking for it. We should be having rapid tests, home tests available to all farm workers, to their families, for the clinicians taking care of them so that we aren't waiting for public labs and CDC labs to tell us what's bird flu or not. And the second very important thing is this is not like the beginning of COVID where we were dealing with a new virus, we didn't have a vaccine. There actually is a vaccine developed already against HIV.
Oh!
The Biden administration has contracted with manufacturers to make almost 5 million doses of the vaccine. However, they have not asked the FDA to authorize the vaccine. There's research done on it. They could get this authorized now and also get the vaccine out and to farm workers and to vulnerable people. I think that's the right approach because we don't know what the Trump administration is going to be doing around bird flu. If they have people coming in with anti-vaccine stances, could they hold up vaccine authorization? If they don't want to know how much bird flu is out there, could they withhold testing? That's a possibility. And I think the Biden administration in the remaining days should get testing and vaccines widely available.
In everybody's arms.
So that empowers state and local health officials and clinicians to do the right thing for their patients.
Yeah, bird flu in humans.
The World Health Organization estimates that in prior outbreaks of the bird flu, that the mortality rate is 52%. 2%.
Wow.
However, in this most recent outbreak, it seems that most cases have been mild, and maybe some people even have asymptomatic infection. But the question is, we don't know what happens when bird flu affects more vulnerable individuals.
Have to have lockdowns
people
again.
infected so far.
Only 15 days, though.
Mainly farm workers who are working, presumably generally healthy, as opposed to what happens when you get to children, to pregnant women, to older individuals with chronic illnesses. We don't know how deadly, how dangerous bird flu is going to be for those individuals. And again, that's one more reason why we don't want it to spread and acquire more mutations.
And we don't want Trump to come in here and murder everybody again like he did the last time. So we can just get more testing that we know was so incredible last time, right? No false positives. Everything was working just perfectly. And we'll just test everybody, and then suddenly everybody will be sick, and then everybody's going to need to go get their pharmaceutical product. This whole segment might as well have been brought to you by Pfizer. She should have just had it right on her forehead. We need more jabs. Joe Biden is here, and in his last days, we know that he can really ramp up production on all of this. So we've got more here. Here's Chris Sununu asking a question or answering a question. Has Trump changed the Republican Party? Do you think the Republican Party is now the Trump Party? And this is a debate that we've been having here regularly. Should the Republicans have Trump leave the Republican Party and start a third party? Or is the Republican Party now the Trump Party? Here's Chris Sununu.
We've always been a spectrum in the party. We've had moderates, we've had fiscal conservatives and social moderates and social conservatives. It's a huge spectrum and it's a big tent, and it will be. It will continue to be. Trump is Trump. There's no Trump light. There's no Trump 2.0 coming up. I always say that Trump is who he is, and because he's built up himself in the American psyche for 40 years, really.
Has he permanently changed your party?
Oh, no, definitely not.
You think it's going to bounce back to sort of regular conservatism and not
I think there's a lot more
populism?
Of that hardcore regular conservatism already in there. Frankly, that traditional conservatism is already in there. He brings a different style to it, which I have a lot of issues with at times, to be sure. But fundamentally, on principle, they're still right there. The bigger DNA problem is with the Democrat Party.
I think there's actually truth to that. I think that Trump is more of a return to conservatism than the Republican Party has ever been. The Republican Party of my lifetime has very rarely talked about, in a genuine, meaningful way, border security. Okay, they talk about it every year. I live in Arizona. I know it's a big issue. It's the issue here. And they have Bush and everybody talking about it. Trump actually started to build a wall, all right? Like actually did something about that. Same thing happens everywhere. We're all sick, right? A conservative position until the neocons got in charge under Bush and Cheney was we don't want war. We don't want to go in and interfere in foreign affairs. And you can look to the founding fathers on this one. You can look to Washington, Jefferson, and I think it was Adams. They all cautioned against foreign entanglements. mind your business here at home. It is not conservative to go wage wars and build empires across the world without caring about what happens to your own population at home. Trump has been more a return to form on that. The Republican Party, by and large, has been not much different than the Democratic Party, which is why people are so drawn to Trump. If the party goes back to its norms under the mantle of Trump, then that's success as far as we're concerned. So here is one more. We've got Jim Jordan was out over the weekend talking about his optimism, saying Trump is coming in soon, and there's a lot to be optimistic about. Here's Jim.
Someone asked me a few months back during the campaign, they said, Congressman, is there anything good you can say about the Biden administration? And I tried to be fair. I actually stopped and thought about it for a second. I said, no, I can't think of anything. Record inflation, wide open border, the debacle that was the exit from Afghanistan, and on it goes. This is just one more example of how bad it is. And the good news is in 30 some days, President Trump will be taking the oath of office and be the president of the United States.
All right. So Trump coming in soon. We're looking forward to it. Dementia Joe still thinks he could have won. Fortunately, we're not going to have to find out. All right.